Good Tuesday afternoon, or I guess Tuesday morning. My name's Luke from Exit Realty Helena, and this is a series that I wanted to start up for first-time home buyers. And today I have David Flugie from Wells Fargo, and he's going to kind of get us started with this whole series. And it's kind of what the first steps of when you are into getting in, possibly buying a home. So I'm going to hand it off on to David, and he's going to kind of run through it. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave the posts and comments, and myself or David will respond to those. So we'll be here for you.
Yeah, Luke, thank you for having me today. I think the biggest thing when we are sitting with a first-time home buyer for the first time, just making sure that we, step by step, just figure out, what's important to them. And what I mean by that is, find out, what kind of payment they're comfortable with. They might come in and think that they're, approved for, or that they want a, payment of like $1,500. And right now their rent payment is $800. And my question with that is just making sure that there's, that they have the ability to make that payment and be comfortable. We never want a first-time home buyer to get into a situation where they buy a home and they're, and it just doesn't, doesn't make sense. Like, they become house poor. You never want them to be in that position. And so making sure that they're, really comfortable with, what they're paying right now and what they're comfortable paying, and tailoring a plan off of that, I think is very important. The other thing with that is making sure, that you find out, when is the last time you saw your credit? Do you have any, do you have any things with your credit that you'd like to maybe talk about, or anything that's come up that, maybe makes it so we have to put a process that maybe, maybe you're not ready to buy a home yet. I think that education piece is very, very important to find out what makes the most sense for them.
And as going through that, so we were saying credit. So, is there many different types of credit that you can go out there? Because, everybody looks at one credit and they go, oh, I'm at 680. Mm-hmm. Is that kind of how you guys go about it, or how do you go about getting their true credit?
Yeah, and so we actually use a model score. And so we have Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, and then we use the middle score, and we're able to use that score to qualify for qualify them for a purchase.
Okay. I think there's a big misnomer out there, and it has to do with a lot of the pre-approval versus the pre-qualification. When on me being a realtor, there are certain things that we like to see from banks, because the thing is, if I'm a selling agent and I get a buyer that's wanting to buy my home, I want to have a letter from that lender. Can you talk the difference between the two?
Yeah, so pre-qualification is taking an application, okay, and a computer is generating an approval based on what your income is and what the guidelines are, and it's basically giving you the highest approval amount based on that. A pre-approval is taking that next step, and you're actually getting the income documents from your client. You are, sending it in, having an underwriter review those income documents, and making sure that they're actually approved for that amount. What that really does is it makes it so they're not going to have any surprises during the process, because once you find a home and you're under contract, it's a blink of an eye. And so you can't have things that come up during the process. You want to address all of that up front to make sure that your client is extremely satisfied from start to finish, and making sure that, your reputation is kind of on the line. And you want to make sure as a lender to make sure that you address anything that happens by having it underwritten and approved, and then they can just go find their home and they know that they're in good hands with you from start to finish.
Well, that's really good information. I really do appreciate you coming in, David. Today, is just basically the start of what the process is. And the thing is that it's such a long process that goes quick. And we want to be able to help you out at every step of the way. That's what this class is definitely intended for. But then also to make sure at the end of the day that we have some good buyers out there that want to buy some homes, and that they go through these processes to make sure at the end of the day they go home and they feel good about the purchase they made. It is a big purchase, and they want to make sure, and we want to make sure at the end of the day that everybody's happy. So when it comes to you going home, you don't have any disdain, you don't have any negative feelings about that home. The whole process was amazing for